So I just got back from the nursery with these native plants to the Rocky Mountain West. And the great thing about all of them is that once they're established, they won't need any supplemental water for me, which is amazing. If you have lived in a dry climate, you understand how nice that is. So here first I have blue flax, which gets these really cute blue flowers in late spring. So this is pretty accurate timing for when they're blooming. I have some already planted outside that are just starting to bloom now. It's May 1st, and they are just covered in the blue flowers when they're going. And they will bloom once, but then if you do, they don't need water once they're established, but if you do give them water, they just like keep blooming all season. So they're really great. And then I have this sulfur buckwheat flower. And I don't know if you've been to Yellowstone or the Tetons or probably in a lot of mountain areas, but they are just all over. If you go at a time where like the lupin are blooming, it's so pretty that the buckwheat sulfur will go at the same time. And it's just gorgeous. So I hope these won't really overlap a ton. I'm hoping they overlap because that would be amazing, but they might not. And then I have this Rocky Mountain Penstemon, which doesn't look like much right now. So let me get the tag out here. This is what it looks like when it's blooming. And it is a really good attractor for like bumblebees and hummingbirds. So I am really excited about that one too. And it is also a like late spring, early summer bloomer. These are all going up on my hillside, which I am trying to make a native hillside, basically a wildflower meadow on my hill. So here's the hillside that we have that we're trying to cover in native plants. I have this area here that I planted a bunch of things last year, and we're trying to see what do we like before packing all this full of wildflowers. So up here is what I bought earlier today. I've got the buckwheat, so sulfur buckwheat, the blue flax, and the Rocky Mountain Penstemon. And then I also just noticed right here, can you see it? Do you see these? These are all little milkweed plants that I germinated, and it's hard to get them to germinate sometimes. I can tell that they're milkweed because of this one here. It's hard to see because it's black. You see how the seed is sitting, the seed head is still on it, the shell. So that's how you can tell. But I want to get this section, we're kind of just doing like a piece at a time. So this wildflower section here, once I get it established and full, then I will move on, because I have to water stuff the first year and it's just too hard to spread myself so thin when you don't have irrigation for this. And then I also got a bunch of these big mountain sagebrush, and those are kind of dotted all over that I need to do. I got 7 of them, and they get like really big. They get like 5 feet tall, 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, I want to say. So I've got one up there and one over there, and this aspen got mauled by the deer and it's been trying to survive, and we finally cut it down because it's been all yucky, but it's got runners coming up. Now, aspens are not something that you typically want to plant. This is a very special situation in which an aspen is not as bad as it can be, because they send up suckers everywhere. They can get in your lawn and just cause lots of problems when they send their runners up. But we want them to fill in this area, and so that's why it's not as big of a deal, because we can just let them go. And then they are still, this is also a north facing slope, so it stays a little bit cooler. And then also down here we have this section where this is the last aspen here. And then we don't have anything planted aspen for a while, and we have that patio area for a fire pit eventually, which everything is just like a big mess right now. But this area doesn't get any water either, and you need to have like a barrier that doesn't have any water for a long time before you get to the lawn. We may still have issues with it. We decided that it was worth the risk, and our neighbors were fine with it on both sides because they're like, well, we just have a hill too and they can spread, and that's fine. So aspens are kind of one of those things that you have to be careful about, and you probably shouldn't plant them unless you have an area you're fine with them taking over. But let's get these in the ground. So I didn't amend the soil at all. I'm kind of trying an experiment. This area does just have straight sand. Like, this is beach sand. Like, can you see how that's just literal sand with a few rocks in it? So we have not amended this specific area. There are places on the hill that we have added compost, and I'm kind of curious to see what happens. Sagebrush does just grow like in sand, so we'll see. I think it should be fine. And it's so cute, and it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it with me. It's so yummy, so yummy. So over in this area, it's much more rocky. There's a lot more gravelly. Don't mind the screaming children in the backdrop. They are water fighting. So this is much more gravelly and rocky. But that's why right plant for the right place. Right place, right plant. And that's why I don't want to put other things up here. Like, it needs to just be low maintenance and go back to nature. So I'm going to put this next one right here, straight in this super rocky soil. So I'm trying to use my sagebrush. I don't want too many of them because I feel like visually I won't love too many. Just a few. So I want to maximize the location. I don't want to put it here because I already put a lot of amendments, soil amendments like compost here. This spot is extra rocky, so I'm going to put it there where all the rocks are and nothing else can grow. I'm going to have to get a better camera setup because I want to be able to show you guys stuff better, but it feels really, really weird to be filling this hole back with rocks and sand. I mean, it's sand and rocks, but that's what sagebrush likes. Part of my heart can't handle it. I take some of the rocks out. I probably could just leave them in, but I don't know. It just feels wrong, you know? So I don't know. I haven't actually planted sagebrush up here, so I cannot attest for this, but I have planted other things that are very drought tolerant, and they have done fine doing this. However, a lot of those other things I've had drip set up to them. I'm not putting drip up to this sagebrush. I'm just going to do watering it by hand every couple of weeks, probably once a week at the first, and then I'll switch to every couple of weeks. And then next year I shouldn't need to water it at all. So I'll just say, like, I haven't done any of this before. I am learning as I go, so you can learn with me, but don't take everything that I say for like truth. I put this, you can't really tell from the camera, but it goes uphill this way. I'm thinking that I would like it to have it go leaning into the hill rather than out like a limb out on the hill. So that's why I faced it this direction towards the uphill. Some of the others I did them like parallel to the hill. I just think it'll look weird if I do it sticking straight out, since the branch is going sideways. So speaking of right plant, right place, this is a dwarf yellow rabbit brush that I planted last fall, and I didn't even water it in. This is straight up sand and rocks here, and I didn't even water it in when I planted it. Now, I wouldn't recommend that. I would water your stuff in, but sometimes at the end of the year, at the end of the season, in the fall, you just don't have like the energy to haul a bucket of water up the hill. So I planted 3 of these. All 3 of them made it. Sometimes if I plant it in the fall, it's like kind of coming out, heaving out of the soil up here since it's a hillside. and like it didn't have enough time to root in all the way, and they do fine. But anyway, this was heaving out of the soil and it was still alive with no watering in. So that's what I mean, right place, right plant, right place. Thought I would also mention, you'll notice here I have like grass cuttings, there's some hydrangea cuttings. This is just stuff like from my front yard garden because we have good soil up there, and this is just crap back here. And so I'm putting all of my yard debris up here in a thin layer so that it can decompose into soil. And because it's just so much money to cover this much space with compost and work. Like, soil is heavy. So that is kind of what we're doing. Also, I have this Russian sage here that is not getting any water. I watered it in. I haven't watered it ever since. And it's gotten this huge size. So Russian sage is really great for drought tolerant things. It is not native to the US, and so I am going to replace it at some point, but it's growing here and it's retaining the hill, so for now it can stay. All right, so I got those perennials planted. We've got the blue flax here. That's the one with these little blue flowers on it. The blue penstemon, the Rocky Mountain penstemon. So this here and this here are both flax, and then I have Rocky Mountain penstemon there, Rocky Mountain penstemon here. And these get kind of tall. They're like 1.5 feet. And then here is the buckwheat. Sulfur buckwheat. And it stays pretty short and kind of flat to the ground. So I kind of wanted that to go in the front. This is on the pathway here. So here's the path here, and then it zigzags and switches back right up here. So it's kind of in this in-between section. So I think a low-growing one will be good here on the edge, and then the other sulfur buckwheat here close to the edge. I'm trying to still keep like shorter things in front. These grasses are just like from our lawn. They're the tall fescue. And they do better up here without any water than our ones down there do that get cut when they're allowed to grow tall like this. But they are not native. They're just like what we had. So we have them up here, and I will pull them out as we get other things so there's space. But right now they're retaining the hill, so they get to stay. Oh, and it's just like a lot of work. But we're doing a little bit at a time. I'm not used to spreading plants out. I usually pack them really tight in the front yard with my ornamental stuff. So we'll see how this goes, because you can't really dig these things up and move them around and split them like you normally do. So you kind of want them where they are going to be forever and not have to divide them. So you need to give them a little more space because they have the big long tap roots, which can't be moved or divided. If you think about like a carrot, or if you're pulling out a weed and it has just one huge long skinny root. Most drought tolerant things are like that. So you need to put them very intentionally where you want them to be, or you risk killing them if you move them. I think that ends this project for today. Thanks for joining me, and come back and see everything when it's in bloom.